our focus to another critical area. Given that most of the manufacturers in the secondary industry is moving towards flat products. So the adoption of thin slab casters is coming into picture. So Mr. Maru, can you please help us what are the critical factors that will be, that a manufacturer should keep in mind while adopting thin slab casters?
Yeah, hello to everybody. There are a lot of critical and key factor in the caster, especially in the mini slab, okay? One is the process, starting from the scrap that we were talking about before, up to the liquid steel and the solidification of the slab. Another very important point is technology. You know, it's technology. It means how the equipment have to be manufactured, designed, and check the quality, whatever. This is a very important factor in terms of quality, because also you have to take care how to make a solidification of the slab, how to make a process for to make a good slab, in order to avoid any internal cracks, avoid to surface defects and so on. This is very important also how to manage, control the temperature of the steel, starting from the ladle up to the tundish and to the mold. Because this parameter can help a lot in terms of quality, also avoid any bulging or cracks during the solidification, but not only, also in the rolling. And important point when you're talking about technology, it's important to understand about automation. When we're talking about automation, it means that you look at me very strange. Automation means not manual so adjustment in the caster, but fully automatic. That this is a sensitive key point for the quality, to check all the parameters during casting, after casting, and before casting, okay? And this parameter thanks also to control the cooling, how to cool the steel in the mold, in the secondary area. Secondary zone means all the area for the spray that you have to cool the slab in proper way, and so on. And also you have to check all these parameters, and in the same time you make a control and you make adjustment of the machine automatically in order to avoid any mistake with the operator, okay? I know that in India it's, let me say, it's a little bit difficult to enter in this field, but you have to change your mentality, and you have to try to understand which is the benefit of technology in the future, because the steel and the quality have a lot of help you in the capex and the opex, and that this is very important also for the investment. You cannot make or to be, let me say, price sensitive in the field, but also you have to understand the benefit that you have when you are moving step by step in this direction. This is my point of view, because we have, as like STS, that is our company since 40 years, and we help our customer to go in this direction. All our customers, since 40 years, they have a benefit with our equipment, and they grow up step by step every year, and they have a lot of net incomes, and the investment they pay back in less than 5 years, also 3 years. So this is have to be very, very important point. Okay, I hope to answer your point.
Yeah, definitely. As you said that quality is a very crucial part, can you shed some more light on it? Like, what are the parameters that needs to be concerning to a manufacturer?
Yeah, for example, for manufacturing, we have spent a lot of time to control the quality of all the equipment, starting from the material that we buy, starting from in the engineering staff, of course, in the workshop, and all the equipment before to delivery have to be checked in our workshop and have to be analyzed in terms of quality control, because we have some parameters in our company that everything have to be alignment in a good way, and the production have to go in good solution. For example, I'll make you a small example about the water jacket. Okay, is one of item in the caster, and the water jacket, if it is not properly, let me say, under construction, was constructed in the correct way in terms of engineering, in terms of also in the workshop to control all the dimensions. It's very easy that you lose the cooling, the flow of the water inside of the mold. And this as a parameter is a simple equipment, can give you a lot of problems in terms of quality, surface, cracks, also sometimes bulging, because also the life of the equipment also create some problem, because our equipment is during for 20 years, for example, and this is thanks to our quality parameters that we have in our workshop, okay? And also we try to make a lot of benefits in terms of the quality of the slab or also blooms, whatever, okay?
Lokenderji, as you have closely worked on the thin slab casters, would you like to add something to what Mr. Maroo said?
Good evening. Good evening to all the members of the panel and
Good evening.
the most sincere audience of the last 2 days, because I feel these are the audience who really think about technology. We talked about commercials everywhere, but this was when technology, and I appreciate so many audience listening. What I want to add to what Mauro mentioned is, see, we have been working with STS, and we are more or less, we are looking at the market of thin slab, mini slab, bloom, what they call. And when we are roaming around all of India and internationally, the biggest challenge that we are facing is when the Indian buyer compares us with the scope of supply or the components or equipments, they are trying to compare apple to apple in the sense part by part when they are buying a capital equipment. But they are not realizing that if I write A and the other one has written A, is it of the same quality? Is it of the same standards or what? If I say I am giving you some component and the other one is giving the similar component, there is always a huge difference in the quality factor, which affects the operational expense of the end user. One small difference which I want to add to Mauro's suggestion is like the bearings. We have researched in the bearings of the withdrawal machine of slab caster. Our individual bearing lasts more than a year. Whereas we have observed in Indian environment, people don't care about how it lasts. Most of the owners, most of the production managers also don't know how long does a bearing last. Why? Because the cost of those bearings are less. They think we can replace it. But remember, every replacement is a change over time cost, delay in production, and all these factors add up. When we are going to slab casters and continuous casting machines for tonnage like 50 tons per hour, these are very, very critical factors which have to be observed, because every minute of downtime is loss. We do not even realize that if a machine, a metal, is sprayed with water on the top, is it okay or not? No, it is not accepted internationally. Here is okay. But we do not realize when there is water sprayed on metal, There is a scaling. Behind the scaling, which is not visible to the naked eye, is rusting. That machine, where we have spent our capital expense, which would have lasted 20 years, as Mauro mentioned, in India it lasts 10 years. And then we are looking for a replacement. And this is the reason we are looking for a cheaper machine, because we think our horizon is only 5 or 10 years. No, if we have the right machine used in the right system, internationally machines are working for 60 years, 20 years, 40 years. This is why we mention, yes, European machines last long. It's only because of the processes that they are using, with the concept that the machine will not deteriorate or break down soon. This is very important, and for many slab casters, they are not billets. We must not compare them with billets, because the cooling patterns are different. The apron, the alignment of the apron, the alignment of the withdrawal, the system of withdrawal, even the mold jackets are made with a different technology. Our audience must realize these are two separate ways of making similar kind of, they might look similar, a billet or a slab, but the process has to be modified in a very, very technical manner, rather than just thinking that it's just a broader billet. And this is where we have observed people are having losses. I have personally visited a steel plant where they are having up to 8 to 10% of loss or misroll, which is alarming. And then what do? We are stuck. And then we start spending on CapEx more and more, more and more. At the end, CapEx expands. Initially it was cheap, but on a long run, even in OpEx we have spent, and more CapEx we are spending. We want to only highlight this. Thank you so much.